Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Wednesday. I hope all is well with you guys. Lots going on, of course, with the World Cup. A very, very entertaining day. Yes, I have to say, the first game, Argentina versus Saudi Arabia, that was the first game that really felt to me like a proper World Cup match in this tournament. The atmosphere was great. Stadium seemed really full. The fans were absolutely buzzing, and my word, what an unbelievable game that was. What a second half. Saudi Arabia, absolutely superb. One of the best defensive displays you'll see. Just love seeing the defenders just tackle after tackle. The celebrations after each tackle, they were brilliant, and they were great at the other end as well. Two really good goals. And yeah, what a win, what a shock. Just felt like yesterday was a day that the World Cup really properly began. You needed a game like that, I felt. Needed a result like that and a shock like that almost. And yeah, fantastic for Saudi Arabia. What a fantastic result that was. And Argentina, they have got a lot of work to do now. Anyway, enough about the World Cup. Plenty of that to come. You'll be watching that all day, I'm sure. Plenty of Arsenal interest as always coming up. Shame William Saliba didn't come on yesterday. France, don't know how Saliba doesn't get into that France defence, but hey, anyway, I wanted to start today's video talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and Arsenal. Now, this has been doing my head in, I have to say, for the last week or so, or whenever. I mean, admittedly, look, the narrative's being led by Piers Morgan, who, quite frankly, no one should really listen to anyway. But and that part of this is easy to ignore because it's coming from Piers Morgan's mouth, and so that is easy to ignore because I've spent my life ignoring Piers Morgan. But the fact that so many people seem to agree with him, certainly on social media anyway, which I know, again, you shouldn't really listen to a lot of what's said on social media, but certainly I'm so surprised by the amount of Arsenal fans I've seen saying and agreeing with Piers Morgan that Arsenal should sign Cristiano Ronaldo. Honestly, it blows my mind. I've written a piece for Goal about this. You'll be able to find it on my social media. And I just find it so mad on so many levels that people seem to be entertaining the idea that Arsenal or Arteta should look to bring in Ronaldo for the last 6 months of the season. It just literally blows my mind. I don't get it. I mean, you look, Cristiano Ronaldo is a wonderful, wonderful footballer, one of the all-time greats, not as good as Messi, in my mind. I know plenty of you would disagree with me on that. One of the all-time greats, one of the greatest players ever to lace his boots and play football, but he should not be coming anywhere near Arsenal right now for so many reasons. A, he's clearly trouble. I mean, look, he's just sat down with Piers Morgan and done this interview, and he's a Man United employee, clearly with the aim of forcing his way out of Man United. He's got that wish that was announced yesterday, that the pair were separating by mutual consent. Just that alone is the massive red flags, that the player is willing to do that and rock the boat that much to get out, just because basically he's throwing his toys out the pram because he's a substitute, and he can't deal with being a substitute because he's Cristiano Ronaldo, which is just the biggest red flag you can get anyway. But there's so many levels on it. You know, Arteta and Edu and Arsenal have spent the past 2 years going through this process of reshaping the squad, of getting big, aging players with egos out the dressing room to create this new, young, vibrant squad that is packed full of unity, that will play for each other, that will work for each other, that will not stop pressing for each other. And the thought of bringing Cristiano Ronaldo at 37 into that, who clearly can't run anymore. I mean, even Vincent Kompany said it yesterday, that he wouldn't sign him for Burnley because he couldn't run. He was probably saying it through jest, but still, you know, Ronaldo is great. He showed last season he can still do it. When you've got a team that is built all around servicing Cristiano Ronaldo and getting the ball to him in dangerous areas, he can still do it. Look at his goal tally last season. You can't deny that. He's a fantastic player. But Arsenal is not about that. That is not what this Arsenal team is about. And suddenly bringing him into the changing room for the last 6 months of the season, when you've spent so long creating this bond and this unity and this work for each other ethic that Arsenal have now, would just be absolutely mad, and it would blow it all up in the space of a couple of months. I guarantee you. The second he is not coming on for big games, the second he is being left on the substitutes bench and he's being preferred, and he's seeing Gabriel Martinelli being preferred to him, or Gabriel Jesus being preferred to him, he's just going to kick off. It is such a terrible idea on so many levels. And, you know, what I saw Piers Morgan, he was talking on Talk Sport about it, and he was saying that Gabriel Jesus needs a strike partner to play with because of his heat map, and he's amazing. He drifts all out wide. He needs someone to be in the centre areas to score the goals. Again, it's just utter rubbish. It's complete rubbish. Because what are you going to do then? You're going to rip up the system that Arteta has spent however long building this team around, just to accommodate a 37-year-old Ronaldo who can't run anymore? Are you really going to do that? Are you going to dump Gabriel Martinelli, who you're trying to get to convince to sign a new contract at the moment? Take him out the side so you can play Jesus out wide and play Ronaldo as a central striker. I mean, it's just so mad on so many levels. And please, I hope you agree with me. Let me know what you think about this idea of Ronaldo to Arsenal in the comments below. I really do hope that you all agree with me on this one, because I can't. It's just blown my mind, like I said, seeing so many people and seeing it retweeted onto my timeline by people that Arteta should go for it. This will win us the title in the 6 months. Arsenal should do it. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it is everything but a no-brainer. It is just steer well clear. I hope Ronaldo gets his big move wherever he goes, and I'm sure he's got somewhere set up, because this whole farce of an interview with Morgan was clearly designed at getting him out of the club and getting him to this wherever he's got in the pipeline, which I'm sure is somewhere in it. After the World Cup, we'll find out where that is. And I hope he gets his move. I hope he ends his career well, because he's been brilliant. He's a wonderful player and he deserves it. But it should not be anywhere near Arsenal. The whole Ronaldo circus and what it brings is what Arsenal spent 2 years moving away from. And the thought of bringing that back in now, just when you've built this team, you've built this bond in the changing room. I mean, Mohamed El-Neni said it the other day when he was talking about Aubameyang. He was saying, look, we've got no more egos anymore. That's what we're all about. You know, that's just a telling insight into what it's like at Arsenal right now. And yeah, bringing Cristiano Ronaldo into it, absolutely no thank you, move on. But again, let me know in the comments below what you think about that. It was certainly a big news day for Manchester United yesterday. It was announced after the Ronaldo sort of confirmation came through. It was announced that the Glazers were now basically looking to sell the club, which is something the United fans have been pushing for ages. The statement from the Glazers, kind of similar to the one that Liverpool and FSG came out with not so long ago, was that they were looking for, they're open to new investment, but basically it's because, they're open to selling the club. Now it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes and what happens with United. It's just a huge, it's a monster of a football club. We know that. It's the biggest commercial machine there is. Yes, it's stagnated under the Glazers' ownership in recent years, but there's going to be a lot of people who will be looking to come in and take that club on, given the size of it, the fan base, the commercial monster that it is. So I'm sure they won't be on the market for too long, and someone's going to come in and get it. It'll be interesting to see what sort of knock-on effect this is going to have for Arsenal, because I spoke about this with the Liverpool thing as well, that Arsenal at the moment, they're kind of fighting their own battle along with Liverpool really, against the state-run clubs. And United have always been a little bit different, because they're such a money-making machine that even though they're not a state-run club, they feel like they are because they can just do what they want money-wise because of the commercial size and revenue that they bring in. And if a state does get their hands on United, I mean, it's a very, very scary prospect if United suddenly are completely don't have to worry about money whatsoever. Which kind of, to be honest, they've kind of had that. They've been like that for a while, so maybe not. But still, the thought of a state-run club taking them on, it'll be, for Arsenal, it's just going to be another sort of hill to run up. And so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I find it quite interesting that, first Liverpool and now United, the American owners are looking to move on. I think this has to be a direct result of what's gone on with the Super League, the fact that they were so pushing for this idea of the Super League, and now they realised it's, not going to happen, certainly in its former guise anyway, that they've realised, how are we going to make much more money out of these clubs if we're not going to get the riches that the Super League would bring. And I think it has to be a direct sort of correlation to that Liverpool and then United are now looking to move on. And then so you wonder about what the Kroenkes are thinking. Now, as far as the Kroenkes are concerned, or certainly from what you hear from Arsenal, is that the Kroenkes are still as committed as they always have been and that they're going nowhere. It will be interesting in the long run to see if that stance changes a little bit, because there's no doubt about it. Just like United's owners, just like Liverpool's owners, the Kroenkes wanted the Super League. They wanted the money. They wanted that guaranteed cash. That's what it's all about. And the fact that that's now not going to happen, or it certainly doesn't look like it's going to happen in its former guise anyway, as I said, I believe is a result of what's happened with Liverpool and United and the owners looking to move elsewhere. So whether in a year's time or anything, we'll see the Kroenkes suddenly looking to up sticks and move on, we'll have to wait and see. Personally, I don't think that will happen, just because as I said, the stance has always been the same with the Kroenkes, is that they're not going to sell. They're still fully committed to Arsenal. Everyone you speak to at the club still says that. Arteta himself says it all the time. And the Kroenkes just don't sell. They've not really done it with any of their franchises. Well, they've done it with none of their franchises. And so I'm not sure if the Super League thing will have quite as big an impact on their long-term future or long-term vision for the club as maybe it will have done for FSG and for the Glazers at United. So, yeah, it's interesting to see exactly how that knock-on effect is going to work with Arsenal. But, yeah, interesting times at Manchester United, no doubt, a very big news day for them. Across the road in Manchester as well, the big news coming out today is Pep Guardiola has signed a new contract, another 2 years for Pep at Manchester City. In a way, for Arsenal, this is good news and bad news. Bad news because it means Pep's going to be around for another couple of years, and we all know what Pep does and the success that he brings and the quality that he brings to the team and from the coaching. You know, he's just one in a million when it comes to coaches. So that's bad news because they're going to be up against Pep for at least another couple of years. The good news is it kind of keeps Mikel Arteta away from them, because you do always wonder when Pep does move on. You know, you would imagine that Man City are going to be looking very, very closely at Mikel Arteta because of the links he's had at the club, the fact he was Pep's number 2, and the fact he's now doing so well at Arsenal. You'd think it's just an absolute given that when Pep does eventually go, that they will, one of the options that will be open to them will be Mikel Arteta. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it's in a good way. There's good news for Pep signing for City, for Arsenal, because it means no Arteta for a while, but bad news, the fact that the Pep's going to be sticking around. But as we've seen at the moment, Arsenal sitting 5 points clear of Pep. Everyone's been lauding this Manchester City team, everyone's been lauding Erling Haaland for the work that he's done, but the fact of the matter is, you look at the league table right now and Arsenal are 5 points clear of this fantastic Manchester City team, and that shows exactly how well they have done this season. So even if Pep is going to stick around for another 2 years, hopefully in that 2 years' time, Arsenal can just continue to get even stronger than they are right now. And right now they are very strong, and that is a good position to be in. They are still on holiday, of course. The group of Arsenal players who are not at the World Cup, they will be coming back, I think, either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week to prepare for their trip to Dubai, where they'll be leaving to in sort of early December. 10 days in Dubai with those games in the Dubai Super Cup coming up. It all feels very eerily quiet at the moment when it comes to Arsenal. There's been lots of news elsewhere. Like I said, huge news day at Manchester United yesterday, but Arsenal, it's just all very calm. And while that may feel quiet, that is also a very good thing, because it just shows again the stability and the good place that this club is in right now. And it's quite nice to sort of sit back and look at the chaos ensuing elsewhere. And Arsenal, you can just kind of sit back, look at the league table and think, yeah, Arsenal in a pretty good place going into football returning and the January transfer window kicking off. All right, that's it from me, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. As always, please do let me know, as always, anything you've agreed with, disagreed with, in the comments below. Definitely want to hear your opinions on Ronaldo. And as I said earlier on in this video, I hope that the majority of you agree with me on this one. Have a good day, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.